Good morning. So the chapter today is called The Dimension of Awareness or Silence. Perceptive sensitivity. Once the mind calms down its movement or ceases to move, then the silence within is sensed and felt. If one has the courage to live in this silence, which is emptiness, where there is no movement, no doing, no attaining, no experiencing, and if one can stay in that emptiness without feeling scared or running away from it, then one has entered into the state of moan or silence. In this state there is a great relaxation, and one responds to everything that comes before one from this emptiness. Mind, having the energy of self-consciousness, is capable of knowing what it is doing, how it is doing it, what the consequences will be. It can go to the frontiers of its own content. When the collective consciousness relaxes totally, voluntarily, when the conditioned mind surrenders its total activity, there is a relaxation of the total human past, of the collective consciousness. And that relaxation is a psychophysical fact. It has to take place before the other happens. Relaxation is a tremendous event in an individual's life because it affects every aspect of the being. It affects every organ of your body, your nerves, your blood cells. They become tension and pressure free. Spirituality is a science. You go step by step, and the fact of relaxation has to take place before the other dimension can blossom. In the relaxation of the total human past, silence blossoms. The cessation of mental movement opens the doors of a different dimension where perceptive sensitivity gets activized in your being, and the movement of the perceptive intelligence is awareness. Then there is not only an occasional glimpse, a touch and go situation where it came and left you, where there is a lapsing back in the mental and verbal level, but instead of the touch and go, it is possible to live in the dimension where the conscious mind remains in abeyance and the perceptive sensitivity is activized. Intelligence is a perceptive sensitivity vibrating in the whole being, so there is no time interval between perception and understanding. On the sensual level, the senses receive the impression, they convert it into electric impulses. Then there is the interpretation of the impulse according to the conditioning, and then reacting to it and saying, I know. You have to go through all this complexity, but when in the state of silence, the perceptive sensitivity gets active, the perception itself becomes understanding. And when understanding gets expressed in relationships, then the manifestation is called awareness. Awareness is the nature of life, as the infinity of space is the nature of life, and eternity is the nature of the timelessness of life. Awareness is the nature of the isness of life. It has no movement, no content, no past or future. It is the nature of ultimate reality, the isness, beingness, the suchness of life, or satta, as it is called in Sanskrit. Life is an interrelatedness of everything that exists and lives. There is an awareness of the interrelatedness of our being related with one another, with the sun, the stars, the oceans, the trees, etc. When the mind easily and naturally discontinues its movement, its efforts to reach out to the totality, there is a sense of wholeness. There is a communion between the wholeness inside and the wholeness outside. I, as a particular individual having a limited body with trends and aptitudes of the mind, can be conscious of the objects outside of me or conscious of the things within me. But the I cannot be aware. When the movement of consciousness easily comes to an end, there is awareness. Ah, excuse me. Ik wil het even highlighten. So I, as a particular individual having a limited body with trends and aptitudes of the mind, can be conscious of the objects outside of me or conscious of the things in me. But this I cannot be aware. When the movement of consciousness easily comes to an end, there is awareness. Awareness is the very nature of life. One cannot say, I'm aware of God, of reality, but instead one says, in silence of mind, in the total relaxation of mind, there is awareness. Awareness of what? Life is aware of itself. In that effortless relaxation, the mute awareness, the still awareness, which is there, which has been there all the time, becomes eloquent. Consciousness has a movement. Awareness has a vibration, not from here to there, but where it exists. Up till now, the mind was controlling the senses, was controlling the whole behavior, but now the awareness, the wholeness, the isness takes over. Unconditioned energy of intelligence. The inner space of silence has vitality and energy, which for convenience we call intelligence. As we associate intellect with the quality of the cerebral organ for verbal communication, we are associating the word intelligence with the unconditioned energy, with the wholeness of silence, which the wholeness of silence contains. So I read that again. This inner space of silence has vitality and energy, which for convenience we call intelligence. As we associate the intellect with the quality of the cerebral organ for verbal communion, we are associating the word intelligence with the unconditioned energy, which the wholeness of silence contains. Intelligence is an unconditional energy, penetrating every atom in the world. Even emptiness of space is full of that energy. It's there, it's been there. It has no center from which it spreads. It is not located in the body or the brain. It permeates the whole body. And when it is activized, when it becomes active, it is a vibration in the whole of you. Awareness is free of the nervous system. It is so subtle that the neurological structure cannot contain it. Just as space holds the tree, which lives because of space. Just as space holds the tree, which lives because of space, but does not in any way limit space, so also awareness is not limited by neurological structure. Intelligence has no center and no circumference. It's a vibration of the whole totality. It's the energy of emptiness. It cannot be called individual energy. It resides in you as it resides in the tree and makes its abode in the oceans. It's not an individual possession, so when it moves in your body, the movement within the body and the movement outside the body are one and the same. It is the universal energy moving through you. Silence is opening the door to a different dimension where there is no crystallized entity of the me at the center, no periphery. It is a limitless ocean of silence where there is no sense of one being somebody. The somebodyness disappears. You get reduced to nobodyness and nothingness. Unless there is an inner willingness to go through that nothingness and nobodyness, to get soaked in that inner emptiness, meditation has no value. The illusion of the me, the I, gets burst in that silence, and out of the emptiness of silence gets released an unconditioned energy, which one may call intelligence. And when the intelligence moves, you call it understanding. Intelligence does not move as the intellect moves. The intellect moves with the help of the word, with the help of senses, and tries to know about objects in the world. It's an indirect approach to the outer reality. Intelligence is that energy born of inner silence or emptiness, which vibrates through the whole being. So it has a highly sensitized perceptiveness. It has a highly sensitized perceptiveness. Silence is not something individualized as your silence. It is not an entity crystallized into your body or psychological structure. It is an observation by the totality of that silence. It is an observation by the unconditioned energy of intelligence. Therefore, we call it observation without the observer. The observation by the past, dividing life into the me and the not me, is a pseudo-observation. Now we come to the genuine observation where there is no center, no circumference, but the totality of your being vibrating with that energy, perceiving through your senses. That is real communion. That is real reaction-free and past-free observation. When the brain observed, watched, looked, and referred it back to memory and brought about knowing and knowledge, it was moving in the realm of self-consciousness. When intelligence moves, perceived through the eyes, it brings about a quality of understanding, a quality of awareness. Please do see this. So observation without the observer results in immediate understanding. There is no time lag, no effort at responding. The response is as spontaneous as the perception is. It's a different dimension of life. As the intelligence does not create an image or a thought structure, it does not convert any experience to an idea. It does not add anything to the past conditioning. Normally, as we move through relationships, we go on creating new conditionings every day. Out of our reactions, we create conditionings which condition us chemically and neurologically. But here there's no addition to the existing store of conditionings. It is freedom from the known, and no new bondage is created. See the beauty of this. If you would allow me to use the use of an Indian terminology, no new karma is created. The old is suspended, and the new is not created. As you move through relationships, there are no images, no judgments, no memory. So without creating new conditionings, you can move through relationships. Do you see my point? It's a movement of freedom. It is a movement in freedom. Intelligence and timelessness. The brain contains conditioned energy, which is self-conscious energy. Now intelligence contains an energy which is self-aware energy. There's a preface of awareness, which is very nebulous, which can never crystallize in any part of the body, not even the brain. Right from your big toe to the crown of your head, it vibrates. When the brain moves, the interpretation, the knowledge, memory, etc. moves, and when intelligence moves, there's a perception, understanding, and awareness. So you move from movement to vibration. From movement in time, you move to vibration in timelessness of life. Do you see? On the physical level, one moves through space and time. On the psychological level, one moves through time. You need not move through space. And on the trans-psychological level, you need not move through time. You just vibrate. It is a simultaneous movement, horizontal and vertical. Not from here to there, not from this moment to that, but in the timeless eternity. On the cerebral level, there is a movement of knowledge. The past moves in the psychological time that it has created, but in the realm of self-awareness, there's only vibration and not a movement. It is a vibration in the timelessness of life, a vibration in the totality of your being. Being universal, it does not divide life into the me and the non-me. There's no more sense of I perceive, I know. The language changes. One now says it is perceived, it is being understood. It is the intelligence that uses the brain, the memory, the knowledge and experience contained in the memory. It uses it as a vehicle for expression. Thus, the dimension of silence results in a state of egolessness, as the senses are used as instruments by the mind, by the I consciousness today. The intelligence uses the I consciousness of the total human past. Can we feel that substance of silence now? the substance of the energy of perceptive sensitivity or intelligence. Do we see how it leads to understanding and awareness instead of leading to knowledge, thought, and experience? They're quite different things, are they not? So it seems possible to live in that dimension of silence, of freedom from the known throughout the day, to live in that wholeness, in the cave of wholeness, in the cave of inner space, and move out of it into relationships and back into it when it's not necessary to move. If one stays in this state of emptiness, then one grows into the state of meditation. In the state of meditation, one's consciousness merges with the cosmic consciousness, and there is no longer any separation. There can never be any more talk of "I have attained" or "I am the one who is doing," for there is no longer the I to do or to attain. And if one takes that vertical jump from self-awareness to the state of meditation, then there is not even the vibration of the universal energy. Even the vibration of intelligence and self-awareness subside, and there is a magnificent isness, a tremendous timelessness, which is called meditation or samadhi. I read that last bit again. Can we feel the substance of silence now? The substance of the energy of perceptive sensitivity or intelligence? Do we see how it leads to understanding and awareness instead of leading to knowledge, thought, and experience? Quite different things, are they not? So it seems possible to live in that dimension of silence, of freedom from the known, throughout the day. To live in that wholeness, in the cave of the wholeness, in the cave of inner space, and move out of it into relationships and back into it when it's not necessary to move. If one stays in this state of emptiness, then one grows into the state of meditation. In the state of meditation, one's consciousness merges with the cosmic consciousness. And there's no longer any separation. There can never be any more talk of "I have attained" or "I'm the one who's doing." For, for there is no longer the I to do or to attain. And if one takes that jump from self-awareness to the state of meditation, then there is not even the vibration of the universal energy. Even the vibration of intelligence and self-awareness subside, and there is a magnificent isness, a tremendous timelessness, which is called meditation or samadhi. Have a really good day.